This is our only form of light. We don't have solar, we don't have wind, we don't have a generator, no power. People don't think it's possible to live without a phone. Everybody just naturally helps each other out. People are so generous with food here. We barter services for goods.
You are raising 5 kids, right?
Yes. Everything I have is made from scratch. As much wild food as we possibly can get our hands on.
Rock Hopper here, and I'm here with Hunter and Ryan, and we're going to do a pack raft trip down the O'Donnell River, which flows into beautiful Atlin Lake, up here near the Yukon border in British Columbia. And after we do that, I'm going to introduce you to the rest of this family of 7 living together in a wall tent in the Canadian bush.
Just going this way.
All right, we're in the water. Let's head out and go. So we've come into this little bay here, and the main part of Atlin Lake is right around the corner there. And we came down that to here. We've pulled ashore, and Ryan is going to show us a really old cabin. We'll talk a little bit about it. I think it's like a telephone, or a telegraph line rather, from maybe the late 1800s or so. Let's go check it out.
Holy.
That was a good size one.
So what do we have here, Ryan?
Dude. Big old cabin.
Big old cabin from long, long ago. Let's have a look around this place. Check it out.
Many years ago. Yeah, these were all hewn with an axe.
Axe hewn. This is a big cabin.
Still solid for that.
Yeah, it was a good size. See how they did the corners and the simple. Flashing for a drip edge. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 tin cans rolled out flat, and that's what they used to use for roof shingles. There's actually still some old houses in town that people live in. That's what they have for roof. Is literally flattened tin cans from 100 years ago. Sketchy as all heck to go work on. They're still holding up.
Yeah, so these are just right here. That's just tin cans.
Yep.
And that was the flashing of the old days.
Yeah, and the roof.
And the roof.
And the roof quite often. These are chinking. That's all their old chinking.
And what is that chinking made out of? Some kind of fiber?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what kind of fiber that is.
Don't worry, it's just asbestos. Breathe deeply.
Yeah. No, I can't tell what that is, Hunter. Can you?
Definitely not moss.
No, it's not moss. It's really fiber stuff. Tough as all heck. I think that's been there.
Let's get a close-up of that.
That's been there for 100 years, probably.
Wow.
Huh.
I don't know. Some kind of natural fiber.
Telegraph wire.
So this is a telegraph wire right here?
Yeah, put up in 1885.
For this area?
This
Okay.
area.
From the old Telegraph Trail.
The old Telegraph Trail, alright. That's pretty interesting. This old place here was most likely a smokehouse. Look in there. Got chicken wire on here. Another shot of it from a different angle. Across the way there is Cathedral Mountain. Some old buckboard or something half buried here in the gravel at the lake's edge. What happened in the old days? They used to commit suicide from bugs?
Yup, apparently the bugs were so bad. Black flies especially, that people would just go insane. Because they had the old cabins, they couldn't chink tight either. And the bugs would just drive them insane. Kill themselves apparently.
So they just, what, shoot themselves?
Probably. I would imagine. Seems to be the easiest. But
So,
yeah. I've seen the bugs, and the bugs are definitely enough to drive a man insane. Absolutely. If you didn't have a tent, like a modern tent to get into and get away from the bugs, I could see a guy losing his mind. Yeah. Especially with the deer flies, because they're actually attracted to the smoke and the heat, where that usually, smudges most bugs away. And the deer flies are attracted to it, and they're just as bad.
Yeah, and you're saying the black flies would actually get in their eyes, and the
Well,
black.
they crawl in your ears and bite in your ear canals, up your nose. They go up your shirt and bite up your back, bite in your eyes. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So some of these guys had blood down the side of their face.
My son did when we worked back here that summer, that's for sure. Guy had blood running out both of his ears and out of his eyes. His eyes swole shut. It was pretty bad. So I can imagine before we had, bug spray and all that stuff, these guys probably lost their mind. And I can see why. We have it pretty good down here. When you get back here, it's really swampy. A lot of, I guess, kind of marshy stuff there. Yeah, it's just no end to the bugs. Yep.
And they get in your eyes too. They just dive right in.
In your mouth when you're talking. Yep. In your eyes. Yep.
What do you think of that, Hunter?
Sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah. Makes you appreciate winter.
Even with bug spray. Even with bug spray,
bug
they bite
spray
you.
doesn't help.
Not the black guys.
Usually sweat it off anyway.
Yeah.
It really makes you appreciate winter a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the dark.
Yeah.
Except for the dark.
Dark
yeah.
sucks.
You learn to appreciate dark and snow because there's no bugs for 8 months, 9 months. And it's a short season, like we're at the end of it now. And it wasn't too bad this year. Last year it rained every month, kind of non-stop. And just when the mosquitoes would stop, they'd come again, and then again, and then again, and they just wouldn't stop. This year was really dry, so not so bad.
I'm back on shore in a different spot, and if you look right down here, I'm going to show you a moose leg, what's left of it anyway. Ryan seems to think that was either a grizzly kill or a wolf kill, and I'm going to show you the little cabin that's back here. It's the Telegraph cabin. This is what's left of the old Telegraph cabin. Apparently, according to Ryan, these guys committed to 1-year stints, and they just kind of hung out and made sure everything was good with the telegraph line, and if there's a problem, they'd walk along it and fix it. And that's what they were out here doing. So they had a lot of leisure time apparently too. These guys were stationed about every 20 miles or so. So Hunter, we're going to go to that camp you were telling me about, right?
Yeah, moose camp.
Moose camp, and it's just up the way, just around the bend here?
Yeah, just I think a kilometer up.
Okay.
Up there.
Alright, sounds good. Let's paddle up there.
Okay.
Just on the other side of the river, here's the rest of what was a moose. It's maybe been here for, I don't know, a week or two, maybe a little longer. I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
Probably a few weeks.
A few weeks?
Yeah.
And you think it was, what do you think killed it?
Probably a wolf. There's a really big wolf that's here. Very big. We were here a month ago. Saw the tracks were about that big. All up and down the bay here. Actually, they're on the beach right there, so makes sense. But you never know. Could be a bear. There's no tracks around left to tell.
Okay, so maybe a wolf kill. And there's it's a jawbone right there, and you can see the skull right there. They call this place Pike Bay. Let's have a look around. What is this place, Ryan?
That's one of the Taku River Clay Kids traditional fish camps.
And can people use this place?
Yep. Yeah, the sign says anybody's welcome. Enjoy your stay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. It's good to have a place of refuge too on the lake. If it gets too stormy, you got a place to stop.
So this is like the little kitchen right here.
Yeah, this is the bitchin' kitchen.
The bitchin' kitchen, little cook shack.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's all set up. We've made lunch here once. Maybe twice actually, yeah. It's a nice stopover on the way home.
And what's this thing over here?
Basically a wall tent. Bunks and a wood stove.
Let's go have a look inside and check it out. Oh, there you go. You could spend the night in here, throw some firewood in the little wood stove, and looks like a pretty cozy and snug place to be. You got some foam pads here, bed down, and yeah, nice view of the lake out there.
Yep, fire starter.
Fire starter, yeah, perfect. Good place to spend the night. It's a barrel barbecue. Now this lake is not one to make a mistake. Tell me about the water temperature and what happens if you fall in the lake here, Ryan.
Well, it's cold enough to cramp you up quick and you won't be able to swim. I think hypothermia would be pretty darn quick.
Probably like in a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Not long. That's if you could swim to shore. It's like I say, it's so cold that you just go into shock instantly and just kind of, your muscles seize up.
Because it's all just glacial. It's meltwater from a glacier and just snow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
And it's like only, what, a couple degrees above freezing, maybe?
Yeah, at the best of times, yeah. Yeah, most times you can't put your feet in without stinging. Well, even now, today, jumping in and out in bare feet, it's bloody cold.
So if you look up in through here, that mountain, that's a Juneau ice field back in there, and that's Alaska. Alaska's right back up in there, that distant mountain. Alright, we just finished the paddle trip on Atlin Lake, but we're going up to the house, and when I say house, it may not be what you're thinking. I'll show you. So we're back at the house. Let me show you around. Alright, lead the way, Hunter. We're back at the house. That's Wyatt over there. We got Christina over there. She cooks a lot of really good food. And Ryan's back there right now. And there's a dog, one dog, and we got another one around here somewhere. In fact, there he is right now. This is Avea. This is Liam. Joshua somewhere.
He's wrapped in a taco sleeping.
Oh. Okay, well,
He's in there somewhere.
Joshua's in there somewhere. For dinner, we're having Arctic grayling and potatoes. This is an Arctic grayling, and you can see the top fin is quite big, and they're very tasty. It looks like we got some chocolate pie for dessert. Both Christina and Ryan are from the big city, Vancouver. Christina smoked a really awesome doobie just now. So now I can question her. You live here year-round in this wall tent, right? In all kinds of cold weather.
Yes, we moved here January 28th, and that winter we saw the coldest was about -40 for a few days. Other than that, winter is generally about -25. That's the average. Not bad. And yep, we live in here all year round. We've got a nice big wood stove to keep us warm. In the winter time, we put those little eco fans on the wood stove so it blasts the hot air at least into our little bedroom area and the table. I do most of my cooking on the wood stove. I have a propane stove here that someone just gave us, so it's quite the treat. But usually I do all my cooking on my wood stove, so this is my kitchen. Where I have my sourdough bread rising and fermenting. You can smell it.
Nice.
I'll cook that in the morning when I wake up.
You cook all kinds of things, right? I mean, not just bread, but you make pies, you cook great dinners, all sorts of things.
Might want to ask him.
And you spend, and he says, yes, of course.
Of course. Yep.
You said you spend like half your life cooking because you are raising 5 kids, right?
Yes, and mostly boys. Teenage to young adult boys. We go through a lot of food. Boy,
Freshly flour.
A 22-pound or 10-kilo sack of flour lasts me about maximum a week and a half because they eat so much. What a typical meal of potatoes would be 5 pounds. Yes, I spend a lot of time cooking. Mostly because when you live like this, I don't have craft dinner on my shelves and Ichiban soup and instant food, so everything I have is made from scratch. So we eat a lot of beans and legumes, which means I have to pre-soak them, and it takes hours to cook them on the stove. So everything just takes a long time. But
Right.
it's good.
But you're eating good, healthy
It's
food.
healthy.
No GMO.
No GMO. As much wild food as we possibly can get our hands on. That includes greens, fruits, some roots, and lots of meat and fish.
Yeah, I saw you had some grouse the other day.
We hunt grouse because it's grouse time now, and the Arctic grayling are in, and any day now a moose will land on our doorstep. And that's an exciting week in this house. And a lot of work. We pick and dry all of our own teas, so I don't buy tea from the grocery store. I buy very little from the grocery store. Extremely little, and we just don't eat the things that we were all raised eating, you know, apples, oranges, and bananas. Instead, we eat the berries. We've got lots of raspberries, blueberries, mossberries, cranberries. We've got 12 different berries I counted that are in abundance here that we can pick. People don't think it's possible to live without a phone. Like, it's just, it's like asking other people, well, I don't eat food, and someone would be like, what? You don't eat food? That's what it's like with technology now.
Yeah.
And you have absolutely no phone, no landline,
We have
no
no
cell
landline,
phone,
we have no cell phone. We haven't
no,
had...
no internet.
No,
No,
we don't have the
no
internet
internet.
either. So our only form of communication is we do have a laptop, and when we go into town, the government office, like the Service BC Center, you can park outside. Everybody who comes to Outland knows about this, and that's where you get Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. So everybody goes there to go on the internet because this town does not have any kind of Wi-Fi. And so whenever we go to town, we just check our emails.
And everybody knows it might take a week to get back to you, and if you really need us for something, drive out.
Yeah.
And sometimes people do. We've had a few people drive out because they needed us for something. So yeah, it works.
How do you guys bathe?
Well, we...
Never been asked that.
I know, I've never...
Wow.
We actually, even in the winter time, we do take the kids to the warm springs. Even though it can, I think last winter, Liam, it was like minus 25 or something when we went. And the kids will jump in the pool. I don't. But the kids jump in the pool and they bathe that way. But aside
Well, there's
from
hot
that,
showers in town.
there are. Sometimes we shower in town, or
In the spring,
Ryan
it's the
usually
river.
creates a shower area for us, and we just me
Or
and him
sauna.
help each other out. Hey, can you pour the hot water out of the jug on me, the milk jug? And
And in the summertime, we use the river.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
we're
was
swimming
good.
all the time. Baby has his bath in the Rubbermaid tote.
In the Rubbermaid tote. There you go.
Right beside the wood stove.
Doubles
It's
as a
great.
bathtub.
Yep.
This is your only form of light?
This is our only form of light, and a candle here and there. It gets dark here in the winters, so we run these lamps lots in the winter and don't even touch them in the summer.
Because you don't need to, because it's light all the time here,
It's
pretty
like
much.
24/7 here in the summer. That's for sure.
You've got no electricity.
We got no power, so we're off grid, but we don't have solar, we don't have wind, we don't have a generator. It's no power.
So bartering is big up in the north, right? Tell us about that.
Bartering is a big part of our lives. It's just a natural thing in a small town and up north, but we barter services for goods. You know, some people go fishing, some people go pick some berries, someone's able to fix something for you, and someone's got something else. We're always bartering. This summer, there's a little lady in town, she told me she loves sourdough bread, so I just wanted to be nice. So I baked her a loaf of sourdough and I brought her sourdough bread. Well, as I'm walking out the door, she's like, I heard you like cheesecake. What's your favorite cheesecake? And a week later, I had this nice cheesecake. That's what we do for each other up here. My husband got me this lovely stove by cutting down someone's trees and not charging them, and the guy offered us this beautiful propane stove. Outside, you can't see it, but outside I have a really cute 50s old wood cook stove. Ryan hunted some meat and he traded it for our beautiful wood cook stove outside. So that's what we do.
And then Ryan, you got a snowmobile? You bartered for a snowmobile?
I did. I bartered for a snowmobile last
the
year.
use
For
of
the use of a snowmobile for a couple months in exchange for some firewood. And we used it to get probably 2 years worth of firewood in that short time.
Somebody needs help, you know, whether it be yard work or electrical or
their
anything.
house burns down.
You can't call somebody up from Whitehorse. It's insanely expensive to have somebody come, so everybody just naturally helps each other out.
Well, what I found is that if somebody has a skill, then people will be happy to utilize you. So if you know how to do something and they don't, you're, I guess, the only guy for the job. The only guy to help out, I guess. So it works out. Everything just kind of gets filled in. Fill in the blanks, I guess. If somebody knows how to fix this, fix it. Call on them to fix it, I guess. I don't know, it's really cool. Plus there's a lot of retired people here that, like, retired mechanics or different professions or stuff. And people that just kind of do it on the side. So, yeah.
But people
Kinda works out.
in general, kind of, you know, in the north, sounds like people in general just kind of are really kind of just want to help each other out up here.
Yes, especially when you're isolated and you don't have access to resources and access to resources
Especially
and
with
stores
food,
and food. People are so generous with food here. A week ago, I took the kids to this little old lady, this little Irish lady that lives in town. She's the cutest little thing. She's very frail. She lives very, very humbly. Like, she actually lives on the lake and she doesn't have running water. She goes and scoops up buckets of water. But anyways, the kids went and stacked. They asked if the kids could stack 2 quarts of firewood. Well, we just wanted to do it. She paid the kids. They just wanted to do it to be nice, but she insisted on paying. But along with that, she gave us a bag of good used wool socks,
Yeah.
2 boxes of pasta, and told me and Hunter to come and pick all her Saskatoons off this one tree she had. So, you know, it's cute. It's different.
We often get bonuses on little jobs that we'll do of food, quite often. A chunk of fish or some moose meat.
And the same goes the
You
other
name it.
way. How often do you go to work for somebody and I send you with a loaf of bread I made?
Or a box of vegetables, or, oh, you name it. It's kind of interesting, actually, when you think about it, all the different things. Yeah, and we do the same thing, and it's just kind of something that people do, it seems.
I
You
think
go
it's
visit Steven and you come home with a box of vegetables, like, it's just kind of,
I think in our case, though, sometimes I swear people have seen the way my kids eat and feel sorry for us and just send us food our way just to help feed them. Yeah. Like the little lady that I was telling you about who sent us like 3 truckloads of fruit. Well, she just didn't understand what we ate because we don't buy produce from the store, we forage, and she just didn't get that. So she would always say, well, what do you feed your kids? Grass only? So she'd bring us truckloads of fruit.
Yep. Sweet.
It was really, yeah, really cute.
They're going to tell us what they do here in the winter. So let's start over here.
Yes. I really like doing art, and I prefer paintings, and I do a lot of abstract things like this with kind of bland colors, to be honest. Origami as well. You know, funky paper art.
You bet.
Paper crane and a butterfly.
Nice.
And another thing that takes up most of my brain space is mathematics. Also, novels. It's what I spend most of my winter doing, and also working as well.
Working on what?
Stomping through the woods, really. Cutting a lot of firewood and sledding. We actually have a toboggan hill right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it in the dark.
And what do we do with that?
You slide down it.
Yeah, but we put barrels at the bottom.
Yes,
The snow up,
real.
So you do a big, huge 8-foot jump off of it because of the momentum.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So you get a good lot of speed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then when you go down, we have another dip that's usually a pond in the summer and spring. In the winter it dries up, and so it just gets filled up with snow. So you do a huge jump, like 8 feet in the air, and then you go down into the bowl further and try and get up to the other side. And it just becomes the goal. It becomes basically a contest. And last year...
We stacked up the barrels and then piled snow on it.
Yeah.
Snow on it, then
But we had a point system going on
Yeah.
for a while.
yeah, we called them bro points.
Yeah.
So essentially, it was these 3 who started the game. But then I got involved, and then they were just called sibling points.
It's just the person who does the coolest
Yeah,
And
the
trick,
stupidest.
stupidest thing gets the most amount of points, and you add up the points at the end of the week. Whoever has the most wins.
wins the contest of being the coolest sibling.
Stupid.
As well as dangerous things.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like going
Plenty of
head first backwards kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not safe, but that's what you do when you're young. So.
What I spend most of my winter doing is reading. Reading, playing guitar, doing outdoor stuff.
What kind of guitar do you play?
Country.
Country music.
Acoustic country.
Why
Guitar.
is this not an acoustic guitar then?
Because it's your guitar, okay?
Yeah, but what happened to yours? Come on, shoot
It
us
broke.
down. It broke, and then what did you do to it?
Shot it full of holes. So you do every broken guitar. I also love doing computer CGI, animation stuff like that, cartoons. Got into that over winter.
And what do you do it on a laptop?
Yeah,
Yes, which gets charged off of.
our truck battery. Hopefully
Car
this year,
batteries.
though, I want to get
Okay.
a solar panel. This year I want to get a solar panel. But if not, we use our truck batteries where we hook up the inverter into the battery and run an extension cord into here. And that's where we charge our computer.
Okay,
And
so you
any other
charge
stuff.
your laptop
Yeah.
up from the truck battery.
Yes.
Okay.
Although sometimes when it gets minus 40 or 38, minus 38, the truck won't start. So that's when we don't get to charge anything. That's when you go back to books. And we have boxes and boxes of books to keep us entertained in the winter.
So Wyatt,
Oh, me?
yeah, what do you got going on?
I kind of do everything. Art, so I have things like that.
What kind of art?
Mostly just drawing. I don't paint at all. So that I put that online. That was last year I did this one. I have these ones. A lot of people like that. This is actually Hunter. in an art style inspired by Picasso called Cubism. Anyways, after art, do a lot of reading. So for me, it's philosophy, religion, which is also a branch of philosophy, and science. So we have like physics, and then I have the 7 sciences. So this one covers the 3, so that would be grammar, logic, and rhetoric, and then the other one is math, geometry, music, and cosmology. And then, I don't know, we have a whole bunch of other things. I have art books, so a lot of reading. And I do a lot of writing as well. I don't have any of that pulled out. And as you see, we have games on the table. And those aren't the only games we play. I write a lot of games. I write role-playing games. So basically, I don't know if everybody's going to be familiar with what that is, but that is a story game. Essentially, I is the boss of the game, if you want to call it that. Tell a story, and then I let them be the characters in the game, in the story, and they get to choose what their character does, whatever, and you roll dice to see what happens. And it can be fun, but also exhausting, so we don't do it super often. It's more of an exciting occasion.
Every month.
Yeah. But other than that, it's a lot of that, or guitar playing. Hunter plays country music. I play flamenco music, which I was learning, which is Spanish gypsy music. That about sums me up. It's basically what you get to do besides being outside when it's not too cold.
Right.
And what else do we do in the winter? We were snowshoeing last year. We started doing that. I was carrying Joshua on my back to try and strengthen up my legs a bit, so that was interesting, but it was a good experience, and hopefully we'll do it again this year.
So Joshua's kind of like a backpack that screams.
Actually, when he's in there, he doesn't scream in the
More
backpack.
kind of rock him to sleep.
Yeah, he just goes to sleep. So, or he talks to you like a conversation the whole time.
Tells you to run faster.
It's like your Bluetooth in your ear. Splitting firewood, I think.
Hauling firewood.
Hauling firewood?
Yeah.
What?
So that's a big part of the spring or later winter.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing, you guys, on what you guys do in the winter, because I know you guys don't have any electronics or anything like that.
Not really, no.
So this is some, give people some good insight as to what you guys do, when it's dark and it's cold. That is your only source of life. There you go.
So without technology always being distracting to you, you get to know yourself better because you're not always being stimulated by something in front of your eyes, right? So once you get to know yourself better and kind of search a bunch of the corners of yourself like everybody's always doing for their whole life, but you get to do it more often without the technology. You get to master yourself, so you get to figure out what you like and start branching out and being able to be the best of what you can be and always being better, instead of just kind of sitting down and being satisfied with what you are. You can always just keep going. That's really it. Instead of just accepting that screen in front of you, you can always be learning more, if that makes any sense. You're not getting filled with a whole bunch of fakery, essentially, because that's what a lot of our stimuli or whatever is in our world. It's a bunch of acting and nice effects that make us pleased, right? When this kind of stuff used to be before a bunch of screens got put in front of everybody's faces, this was what was stimulating you. And I think it's really good to be still in that. And then also, once you're not looking down at this, you also become aware of everything around you a lot more. You do. You really do. You're able to socialize better. You're able to just absorb everything around you better in general. Like, it's just a lot better without so much technology. I think it's just overall better for everybody, especially get into the whole science of dopamine hits and whatever. It just makes you a happier person in general. And not just on the outside, but like actually inside. Not constantly getting dopamine fed to your brain from a bunch of effects and likes on your photo, your selfie that you put up on Instagram. Instead you get dopamine from creating things. I think that's a lot of what's lost in the world is self-expression, but true self-expression, not just doing what somebody else does, figuring yourself out. Ultimately, it's just what it ends up being.
And being the best self and building yourself up.
Yeah.
And just constantly improving on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's never ending. Especially once you get into like philosophy and stuff, which he's not into. Nope. And nobody really else is in my family, but I am. That's okay.
This guy is into food majorly.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? That's how you're building yourself up, is food.
Cooking food, eating food.
He's becoming...
Cooking of food. Anything food.
Anything food, because I have seen you eat, and I know you love food, and lots of it.
Yes, I love food.
Hey, you're good at making food.
Awesome at making food.
Oh, at least you're humble about it. He loves making food, and he's very good at it. But since you do it all the time, and you're always wanting to do it, you can become the real master chef, not just looking at one on TV.
And Christina gave me a big bag of... No. It's not weed. It's Labrador tea. Some might perceive this lifestyle as strange or weird, but I found it only to be different. A way of life similar to an earlier time, a throwback to a bygone era, one that we tend to think of as simpler, but one that's not necessarily easier. I found the kids to be well-adjusted and more imaginative, creative, knowledgeable, and interested in the world beyond than many of the kids growing up in the city. There was a real feeling of family in this humble abode, a wall tent in the wilderness. I hope you enjoyed pack rafting on Atlin Lake and meeting these bushwomps here. Don't forget to give me a like on the video, share, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Rockhopper. I'll see ya.